how a man from a small town, Youngstown, Ohio, amassed $250,000 in his savings account. I recently received an inbox question from a high school friend of mine. He reached out to me because he discovered his retired father had upwards of $250,000 sitting in a savings account, earning a pitiful 1% interest. He asked about my thoughts on the best place to go for a high-yield savings account. This was an interesting conversation because I've never worked with anyone who had more than $250,000 in a savings account. I've worked with people who had that much or more in investment and retirement accounts, but never in a general savings account. I probed to get a feel for what this money was being saved for. Turns out this is legacy money. He and his wife have no plans to spend this money on themselves. They will leave it to their children. Nonetheless, Dad is a hands-on, conservative saver who takes pride in seeing his money stack. I advised them that they didn't have to wait to die before giving some of the money to their children. They can experience joy and satisfaction from seeing the smile on their children's faces as they give some of it now. I was intrigued by the story. I wanted to understand the father's mindset and attitude about money. I said their story is a story of hope because nobody believes that someone could save $250,000 living in Youngstown, Ohio. Here's what I was told. His father taught him that as a man, your job is to provide. He believed that if a man was a great provider, everything else would fall in place. He married the love of his life when they were in their 20s. He and his wife raised 2 children together. Both of them grew up to be independent and self-sufficient. He was a blue-collar worker who worked for 30 years on his job. He retired from that job and worked another labor job for 5 years before fully retiring. Once the children started school, his wife worked full-time for 25 years. She too is now retired. Given the fact he grew up poor, he had a scarcity mindset. He prioritized ensuring that he and his family had what they needed over self-indulgence. Once needs were met, he believed in setting aside money for a rainy day. They gave the kids everything they needed and many of the things they wanted. He managed his finances based on what his father taught him. One of the main tenets being saving money is how you create financial stability. He believed that you have to balance having fun and being responsible. It's important to have fun-filled memories. It's equally important to understand that life is unpredictable. You're going to experience pay cuts and job losses. Always set aside money just in case life happens. I asked what financial tips he would pass on to others. Here's what he said. Be responsible with your money, but enjoy life while you are young and healthy enough to do so. Being a provider is great, but being a provider who can leave an inheritance to his children is gospel. I'm Damon Carr, your money coach.